First of all,
Yeah.
good afternoon or good evening, dear colleagues. We are really happy to present at this wonderful conference, and we are really sorry that we cannot be in person and we have to use the technology, but at least we have this option. And we hope that our presentation will be useful, and maybe it will be followed by a discussion. Let me try to share the screen and begin.
Hope you see our screen now. Do you? Do you see the screen? Yes, cool. Okay.
Wonderful. And as you see, we are from Siberian Federal University, which is quite far from Russian borders. So it's not Moscow, it's Siberia. Called Siberia. And a couple of words about me and about Anna, because, well, we wanted to set up some context. Anna is a librarian, but she works with instructional technology, and she has been working with technology for more than 10 years. She has master's in library and information science, and she trains teachers, so she is involved in professional development. So technology is her applied field.
Yes, and this is Mikhail Bukhtoyarov. He has a PhD in social philosophy, and also he has masters that is more applied, masters in instructional technology. So he is a local guru, the university guru of educational technology, and also he has been working with it for over 10 years. And today we would like to present our perspective on educational technology and talk about the intersection of educational anarchism and educational totalitarianism.
And let me open our presentation with this quote from a famous Russian Soviet punk rock musician and poet. I think that in Russia, most of the students and most of people of our generation know this quote and know at least half of the song by heart. The key to the border is broken in half. And well, this is metaphor. Today it can be used as a metaphor because we are on one side of the border, and well, you are really far from us. We are far from you, but still we use the technology. And in the times of Yegor Letov, it was impossible.
Yeah.
Technology made this
connection possible.
And this is my classroom. Very traditional classroom, as you see. I teach philosophy to computer science students, and they really love using chalkboard. We write on the chalkboard, we draw on the chalkboard, and this is a kind of anti-technology. So they can use smartphones, of course. They can use the whole variety of technology, but sitting in the classroom, discussing or sometimes even quarreling, it can be really, really amazing. And I haven't been in my classroom for nearly 7 months. Now this is my classroom. And this is very good. I like it. Right now we are talking to you from this very place, and as you see, it's quite convenient, it's cozy, and technologically advanced. We can do whatever we want. Currently I teach 200 students, and I feel okay.
So what is educational technology? Just a very brief view. Educational technology, their classical definition by Association of Educational Communication and Technology from 1977, you can see here on the screen. I'm not going to read it, but what I would like to make you understand that it's very much process-oriented. It's very broad and it's very philosophical. It's talking about ideas, aspects, processes, problems, but there is the one that is more recent. Look, it's much shorter and it's very practical. Now it's very much technology oriented, and it's it's practical, I would say. The same association, but about 40 years later.
And as George Siemens said, George Siemens, a famous Canadian-American educational researcher, educational scientist, technology is philosophy. And behind every technology, there is ideology, there is philosophy, and when we go to educational field, we can find several ideologies. In 1981, William O'Neill suggested classification that is quite interesting and can be applied to what we want to talk about. This classification divides all educational ideologies into two big fields, conservative and liberal. Conservative educational ideologies can be fundamentalism, intellectualism, conservatism, and liberal, of course, liberalism, libertarianism, and anarchism. But later, in 2006, Erkan Kirash from Turkey made a very interesting research and tried to find correlation between acceptance of technology by the teachers, by educators, and the educational ideology. Educational ideology appeared to be quite influential, but not in a very simple linear way. For example, those educators who tend to follow educational intellectualism and libertarianism, they were quite open to technology and accepted it easily. And those who followed anarchist views or tend to be close to them, they did not accept technology so easily. But let me remind you, it was 2006, nearly 15 years ago.
And so we decided to focus on anarchism, that extreme, well, one of the extreme ideologies, in our opinion. So what is educational anarchism in simple words? According to the philosophy of Peter Bottke, educational anarchism can be summarized as just do it approach to education. So when the coach is trying to get the most out of the players, appealing to their inner strengths, anyway, anything goes, anything works.
And one of the recent articles in Educational Anarchism by Eugene Matusov made a very interesting list of common principles of educational anarchism. And here, as you see, non-negotiable impositions are very important. Actually, his article is about non-negotiable impositions. Here, the main idea is that individual can be the source of all decisions related to education. For example, one of the interesting aspects, the syllabus of the course, can be accepted or not accepted by the student if this course is built in the anarchist paradigm. And of course, all the parts of the educational process, they should be implemented through the dialogue, through critical dialogue, and through either acceptance or not acceptance of every part of the education. So dialogue, self-organization are characteristic features of educational anarchism.
But we decided that there is one more ideology that is needed to be, that we need to add to that list.
And strangely, it was not a part of the classification. We actually compared several classifications, but educational totalitarianism appeared to be quite rare in educational and philosophical texts. And well, when I was doing the literature review, it appeared that educational totalitarianism articles are twice less represented in numbers compared to educational anarchism, which is quite popular today.
And actually, their totalitarianism, their source of the information to find that, I needed to address the article that is from 1940, which is before the World War II. So their characteristics of educational totalitarianism, according to Thomas Woody, is aristocracy, democracy, so versus natural right, when their natural right is not recognized and there are some elite groups that have more rights than others. Of course, it's anti-pluralism when there is only one point of view that is accepted. Anti-rationalism, where belief is more important than reason. Collectivism, where collective is more important than individual. And activism, that is seen here not as political activism, but the focus on action, on physical development, on some body activity rather than intellectual activity.
So you see, it's quite opposite to what we found in educational, in description of educational anarchism. And we decided to implement this to the world of educational technology. By the way, educational technology has also subfields, and it's growing bigger right now. Educational technology is a growing market, it's a growing research field, and of course, it has different pedagogies and ideologies behind that. So we decided to make kind of classification and list the signs of educational anarchism in educational technology. Of course, lots of these things you can find in modern learning, and most of them are not structured. For example, self-organized communities. Can you imagine, me and Anna, we both participate in a community of teachers that has been working for 10 years without any leaders, without any organization behind. And these people for 10 years just communicate via Skype and support each other. 200 teachers from different countries. And there are multiple examples of such communities of inquiry in connectivist, constructivist pedagogy. Well, there is a whole theory behind that. And students organize, self-organize to hide from the teachers and to solve problems collectively. Of course, it's not very convenient for us, but we are not anarchists. Personal learning networks, it's a concept from connectivist approach, connectivist learning by Stephen Downes and George Siemens. It's not about people, not only about people. Personal learning networks is the concept which combines all kinds of information, all kinds of information artifacts which can be used through the process of learning.
Okay, so the open knowledge, knowledge bases and the different other content sharing, legal or illegal, is also very popular.
And the interesting thing is that content sharing is also combined with do-it-yourself paradigm, do-it-yourself ideology. Actually, there is even a term behind that, which is called edu punk, and it's a DIY style of learning and teaching. When somebody makes for example, drops a simple instructional video on YouTube and others can use it freely. Well, there is the whole culture behind that. So DIY competes with professional educational content today, and we can see it everywhere. Open and free solutions is also a very important concept. Platform independence. Well, open and free solutions provide platform independence, because if you are using some proprietary tools or content, you are dependent on the vendor, and well, it's not sustainable. In 5 years, in 10 years, you can appear without anything, without support, if the vendor is not very reliable. And of course, the idea of network neutrality, which is well, not easy for schools, because schools have to protect their students and universities have to control their students. And very often schools and universities become providers and internet service providers for their students, and they are also censors. And the last concept of anonymity. Anonymous means safe sometimes, but of course in educational process it's very difficult to implement, but still learning can be without having names.
Well, but also there are signs of the opposite trend, the educational totalitarianism.
I don't know whether you've seen the chat, but you have 5 more minutes.
Yeah, we know.
Yes,
well, we can see. Yeah, of course.
The last but one slide.
Yes, this almost over. So there are signs of educational totalitarianism as well, when the corporations and states are trying to control the learning process with standards, with imposed technologies, which means that the technologies that are not basically not welcomed by the learners. Platform dependency we already discussed, and some proprietary software. Well, I'm sure you all faced those problems.
And today, we believe that in 2020, we all face the educational technologies which provide the whole spectrum, the continuum of educational ideologies and philosophies, ranging from the most extreme educational anarchism to the most extreme educational totalitarianism. We have tools for that. We have variety of tools, and they are growing, they are getting bigger. Today, the companies compete, and the governments are really interested in utilization of such tools in the national systems of education. But what it means? We believe that even though we can follow different educational ideologies, have different philosophies, on the very basic level, on the level of behaviorism in terms of learning theories, we are trapped. We are trapped between the screen, which provides the content, and the keyboard or any other pointing device, which makes us perform particular actions, activities. And with the mobile technology, we are even more vulnerable. We don't even have keyboards. So we have to use our fingers and the screen. So nearly 5 billion people are online. More than half of this population is using mobile technology. And I believe that education in all its forms will reach them, will reach us. Thank you. And the last quote from famous Russian Siberian punk anarchist Igor Ledev: everything is going according to the plan.
Well, thank you.